Peace. My name is Brother Hatim. I'd like to welcome you to the Self-Mastery Moment on this Giami journey. You can check me out on my blog at giamijourney.blogspot.com. Now, what I want to do today is talk to you first about why I'm here. I'm here because I'm a self-mastery coach. I want to make sure that everybody understands what it means to be a self-mastery coach and what self-mastery is. Self-mastery is a process of learning to control yourself. Now, first I need to define self for you before I get into the story I have for you today. The self can be defined as those absolute, complete, and perfect qualities of a being that are not dependent on external circumstances. So what I'm saying is that you are perfect. You are absolute. You are complete. So what that means is there's something else going on that limits us. And the things that we need to master in the self-mastery process are those things. Number one being that personality. Number two, the ego. Number three, the emotions. We got to learn how to master these and use these for what we need. So the stories that I bring you during these self-mastery moments will be stories and lessons to help you accomplish that. So the first story I'm going to tell you is a little bit about me. Because in self-mastery, we have to make sure that everybody understands that we all have similar struggles. We all have problems. We all have a history. And we need to learn that history. So, here we go. Now, this is a story about myself. When I was younger, I was crazy about martial arts. I love Bruce Lee. I love Bruce Lee because Bruce Lee taught about going beyond your limits. So I always look for a martial arts class. And in looking for this martial arts class, I didn't have no money. And my mama didn't have no money. So, of course, I had to find a free class. So in order to be part of this class, one of the things that you had to do was you had to pass, in a sense, the initiation. You had to pass, be in the class for a while, and when the master recognized you, he would let you in. So I stayed there 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. I can't remember exactly how long before I became a member of the class. This was when I was about 12 or 13 years old. Well, anyway, the master one day recognized me, and he told me to come meet him after class. So I went to meet him after class. As we started talking, he started letting me know that he was going to set me in the class, and I was so excited, man. It's just like this is a dream come true. I'm actually going to be a martial arts student, and his brother, as he was breaking it down to me, he looked at me, just like I'm looking at you right now in the camera, and he said these simple words to me. He said, "I know you. You don't remember me, do you?" And I started thinking. I sat back and I looked at him, and I didn't want my master to know, my new teacher to know that I didn't know what he was talking about. No, I didn't remember him. But in my mind, immediately I went to all the negative things that I had done in my life, and I started wondering, was he one of the individuals that I have offended in my life? Was he the person was he the father of the child bike that I stole? You know what I'm saying? Was he the sheriff that tried to arrest us one day and I bit him in his hand so me and my little friends could get away? Was he somebody who owned a window that I had broke? Was he a substitute teacher that I was disrespectful in class with? I didn't know where I knew this man from, but I knew I wanted to be in this class, and I didn't want my past to affect that. And as he looked at me and he seen the confusion in my eyes, he said, "I know you. You don't remember me, do you?" So I finally had to fess up, and I said, "No, I don't remember you." He said, "Don't worry about it. One day you'll remember, and just think about it." So I started this class, and this man invested time in me. He taught me about myself. He taught me about my limits. He taught me how to push past my limits. This man invested time in me and taught me how to be a man through martial arts. He showed me where my weaknesses was and showed me how to work through those weaknesses and get those weaknesses to start working for me. He trained me. He pushed me. Every day that I went to practice, he pushed me to my limits. He invested his time in me. And as time went on, about 2 years. I started playing football, and I really got into football, and I really got into school, and at that time I really started getting into girls, so I eventually start not having the time to spend with my master. So time and people and places being the way they were, I went my way, he went his way. He eventually went to prison for something, and I went to high school. When he came out, he would come around the house looking for me, but I was too busy for this man who invested in me. This man who became a father to me. Better yet, he even deeper than becoming a father, he was a teacher, and not only was he a teacher, he was my master, and I didn't have time for him. So eventually I graduated from high school because of some of the stuff that he taught me, because of the discipline he gave me. I graduated from high school, and I went to college. And while I was in college, probably my 3rd year there, I got word back from Akron just talking to somebody that my master had passed. And feeling bad and really realizing what I had done, I had turned my back on this man who invested in me, who did something that my own father didn't do. I got too busy for him. I went back to give him the proper respect that he deserved, and I wanted to go see his gravesite. So when I went home, I went to his gravesite. And as I was walking to the gravesite, I heard his voice in my head, and it rung, and it was so loud and it was so clear, it was as if he was there, and he said, "I know you. You don't remember where you know me from, do you?" And as I walked towards the grave, I kept hearing his voice, and as I stood over the grave, it finally came to me where I knew this man from. And in that moment, I started to cry and I started to laugh, because in that moment, everything, not just where I knew him from, but everything in life became clear for me, at least in that moment. And I started laughing and I started crying and I thought about it. And it was such a beautiful, beautiful thought. And that ends the story. Like I said, my name is Brother Hatim. I'd like to welcome you to my little space in between time and space. I'd like to welcome you here. I'd like to ask you to come read my blog and just get these lessons. We'll learn together and we'll build together and we'll grow together. Oh, I know some of you are probably wondering where I knew him from. And because I don't want to betray my master's trust again, I'm going to give you the same gift that he gave me. I'm going to say it to you exactly like he said it to me. And I'm going to look directly at you like he looked at me. And I'm going to say, "I know you. I know you. You don't remember me, do you? I know you. You remember where you know me from, do you? I promise you one thing. When you finally discover where I know you from, you, just like me, will understand everything in that moment. Everything will become clear to you. So once again, this is Hatim. I'd like to thank you for your time. And with that, I say peace.